Okay, can you guys hear me now? I think so. I think my mic thingy is working now. Okay, and those of you guys on TikTok, can you hear me as well? Because I'm working with two different switchers here. So hopefully that fixed it. You don't hear me? Okay, now you can hear me. Okay, I think there's a little bit of a lag. Welcome, welcome, one and all, to, I can't believe this is the first official live stream for Feng Shui and Prosper. If I am brand new to you, my name is Sabrina Kadri, and I am a 5th generation disciple of the Tanyang Wu, Grandmaster Tanyang Wu's School of Feng Shui. That means that my Feng Shui training, my Feng Shui lineage can be traced all the way back to many generations of Feng Shui grandmasters in mainland China. So I am wanting to just go over some foundational but very important things about Feng Shui. And likely what I will be presenting to you here, especially if you're not familiar with this school of Feng Shui that's called Flying Star Feng Shui, that's the main form of Feng Shui that I practice. A lot of these things might be very new and maybe a little hard for your head to wrap around. So the unfortunate part is, the more the more you consume my content, the more you're going to realize that Feng Shui is not as simple as what mainstream media, online articles, even printed books make it sound like. Feng Shui is really simple, but it actually isn't. So those of you who are watching me on TikTok, on Facebook, feel free to let me know how long you've been interested in Feng Shui. Not just interested, but maybe have done DIY Feng Shui. You've read some books and you tried it yourself. Maybe you've tried a Feng Shui consultant before. Maybe you've even taken a course. So feel free to put in the comment and let me know how your Feng Shui journey has been. Okay? Hi Britta, hi Sylvia, Maria, Donna, awesome. Thank you so much for joining me here. So, but I want to make this interactive as well. As much as I have some slides that I'm going to go over with you on my smart board, I will also be taking some of your questions, not all of them, the ones that I'm able to properly take, okay? But first and foremost, okay, perfect. It's showing me sound on my end here. So, and no sound on Facebook. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, I'm gonna try something. It's okay now? Oh my God, I didn't change anything. So I don't know what's going on. Um, oh, it's getting it from my phone. Okay, that's fine. I'm not sure what's going on. You guys on TikTok, can you hear me? Okay, yeah, TikTok is not having mic issues. So I have no idea what's going on with YouTube and Facebook. It's okay. So it keeps coming in and out for you guys. I have no idea why. Um, so let's just keep going. Okay. It's so weird. I got muted. If you guys who are in Facebook and YouTube, if you're having the sound issue, go on TikTok, because I'm not having issues with TikTok there for some reason. No idea. But is it back now? Facebook and YouTube, guys? Okay, I'm just going to keep going, because at least it's working on TikTok, so I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to start with this. How do we first get permanent energy? Before I go into that, I want to ask you guys, who has seen this? Let me bring this over. Who has seen this kind of bagua before? Feng Shui bagua. Put it in the chat. Who's done Feng Shui based on this bagua before? Where supposedly, the south is the fame and reputation area or direction. The abundance is in the southeast. The family is in the east. The knowledge or spirituality is in the northeast. Career is in the north. Helpful people are in the northwest. Creativity is in the west, and love or relationship is in the southwest. How many of you guys have done Feng Shui this way? Right? This is the most common one if you're online. How would you react if I tell you this is the wrong bagua? So Lisa says never used it but have seen it before. So you're not missing out on anything. Okay? This is the wrong bagua. Feng Shui is a 4,000, as far as we can go back, Feng Shui is a 4,000-year-old practice. This one only started in like 1960s. And whoever came up with this did a huge disservice to the world, because it made Feng Shui easy to consume, yes. It made Feng Shui simple, yes. But this chart, this bagua, is completely separated from the actual original practices and teachings of classical Feng Shui. Okay? Now, this is the bagua that my lineage uses. In classical Feng Shui, this is the bagua that we use. But even in my grandmaster's lineage, we use this bagua differently. Okay? Where you have the numbers. Okay? You have the numbers in the center here, which corresponds to Flying Star Feng Shui numbers. Okay? And I'm going to put the directions here. So even then, I will let you know this bagua is just the jumping off point. This is not how we do all our placements or usage. Okay? We have in the south, we have the number 9, and the trigram of the south is the Li trigram. Okay? And this trigram denotes potential energy that can impact your heart or your eyes. Your heart or your eyes. And it also impacts anyone who's considered middle daughter. Now, in my grandmaster's lineage, middle daughter does not mean birth sequence. My parents had my older sister first, then they had me, then they had my younger sister. That's in like biological term. But in Feng Shui, that does not put me in the middle daughter seat. Okay? Middle daughter in my grandmaster's lineage is anyone who is a female, who is single, and is 14 years old and up, and with no kids. If that is you, dear audience, then in Flying Star Feng Shui, whatever that impacts the Li trigram will impact you. Even if you are the single child of your parents, as long as you fit this demographic here, female, single, 14 years and up, and no kids. Okay? Now we move on to, we'll just go clockwise. We'll move on to the Southwest that has the number 2 based on the Lo Shu chart. And the trigram is Kun trigram. And the Kun trigram impacts abdominals for most things. In some instances, it also impacts the skin. Okay? And whatever happens to the Kun trigram impacts mothers. As long as you are female and you have had kids. Now, the caveat here is as long as you've been pregnant, actually. Whether that pregnancy resulted in a miscarriage or live birth or not, you are, in Flying Star Feng Shui, considered the mother trigram. Okay, the matriarch. Now, over here in the West, we have the Dui trigram. Dui trigram. And the Dui trigram, whatever impacts the Dui trigram would impact respiratory issues, throat, mouth, or nose issues, health-wise, body part-wise. Okay? And then, who gets impacted? We're talking about youngest daughter. I know it's sideways, but hopefully you guys can see. Youngest daughter, female, which, again, in our term, in my grandmaster's school, youngest daughter are any females who are under 14 years of age and never had kids, never had children, never got pregnant before. Okay? And then we move on to, we have the number 6 in the Northwest. Okay? The trigram is Qin trigram. And the Qin trigram impacts fathers, as long as you are a male and you've had kids. So you could be a 16-year-old boy and you and your girlfriend had a baby. You are now a father, right? So whatever happens to the Qin trigram, you as that 16-year-old boy with a son or a daughter, that would impact you now. Okay? In terms of body part, the Qin trigram will affect the head mostly. It can be physical, so like headaches or migraines, but it can also be mental health. Okay? And then in the North, you have the number 1 in this bagua, okay, which is the Kan trigram. The Kan trigram. So the Kan trigram is for whoever, a male that is 16 years old and up, not married, and no kids. Those of you, if you want this bagua, you can, actually I'm not sure if I'll be keeping the comments here, but I do have a video series with all the images that I'm using here. If you want a copy of that, you let me know. Just DM me, okay? And the Kan trigram impacts body part-wise, the ears, the kidneys, and like any sexually transmitted disease would usually mean the Kan trigram is negatively impacted. Okay? Did the sound go out again and come back in? I don't know. We're going to keep going. Right. And then in the Northeast, we have the Gun trigram. Okay. The gun trigram impacts, so whenever this is negatively impacted, okay, it will affect what we consider quote unquote youngest son. So these are boys under 16 years old, not married, no kids. Okay, and body parts wise, they are connected to the shoulders, the hands, the arms. In the East, you have the number 3 in the East, okay? Oh. And this is the Zhen trigram. And who is impacted by the Zhen trigram? It would be what we consider, quote unquote, oldest son. Males who are married and not yet have children. Okay? So whatever happens to this trigram will impact a male that falls under that demographic. And what are the body parts that are connected to the Zhen trigram? It's the legs and the feet. Okay? So just in case you're kind of wondering, what does she mean by impacted? If there is a permanent energy or annual energy or monthly energy that negatively, that makes this guy, this trigram, vulnerable, technically it affects the whole family, everyone in the household, but there will be specific person in that household more susceptible to it. Okay, that's what it means. And in the Southeast, okay, you have the Xun trigram. And the Xun trigram, who's impacted by this? It's females who are married but not yet with kids. Okay? And when this Xun trigram is negatively impacted, then you're going to see health issues relating to hips or butt or sexual organs. And for women, sexual organs also include the breasts. Okay? So this bagua, this is the real bagua. Okay? What we have here fake bagua. And we're not even done. Where this real bagua is concerned, this is just the formula. This is just the formula part. We're not just looking at this one little chart and do the whole feng shui based on that. Okay? Now, we put that aside. We're going to be talking about the 3 cycles and the 9 periods. Okay? In Flying Star Feng Shui, remember my thing earlier that I said Feng Shui is a study of time. Feng Shui is a study of time, space, direction, structure, right? So time is where actually I'm going to take this bit and put it here. Okay, so time is where this chart is going to look at, okay? There are 3 yuans, 3 cycles in Flying Star Feng Shui. We have, the upper yuan, middle yuan, and lower yuan, okay? And every yuan has 3 periods. So upper yuan would have period 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully you guys can see. Okay, I'll make it bigger. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Middle yuan would have periods 4, 5, and 6. Lower yuan would have periods 7, 8, and 9. And each of these periods they reign within a 20-year period. Okay? So we are currently in period 9. We're currently in period 9, which started, I'm going to make it bigger. Can you guys see? Yeah. Period 9. Oops. Sorry. Yeah. Period 9, which started February 4th of 2024. So this was 2 years ago. Okay. And it ends February 3rd, 2044. 20 years. If you look at this chart, okay, if you look at this chart, all of them would be 20 years as well over here. 20 years, 20 years. Okay, so right now in Flying Star Feng Shui, we are currently in period 9. So that's the time in the equation, yeah? Remember we were talking about Feng Shui is a study of time plus space plus direction plus structure. It's not just an art of placement. So this chart that we just went through here is the time factor. Now, let's talk about the space, the direction. Okay, the direction would be your compass. How many of you guys have tried doing Feng Shui without using a compass? And in fact, when I was doing a keyword research a few days ago, one query came up: how to do Feng Shui without a compass. If you're working with a Feng Shui consultant that doesn't use a compass, they are not legit. That is not Feng Shui. Why is usage of a compass so important? In a lot of the archaeological sites in China, they have dug up old, ancient Chinese compasses used for Feng Shui. If you are in any way a legit Feng Shui practitioner, either just for yourself or for clients, if you don't use a compass, stop calling yourself a Feng Shui expert. Because what you're doing without a compass is not Feng Shui. The only tool that a Feng Shui expert needs is actually a compass and maybe pen and paper. But if you don't have the compass, because the compass gives you what? The compass gives you direction. So this was the time factor. Let me push this out. This was the time. Oop. This is the direction. So look at this here. The compass has 360 degrees in terms of the direction, right? I get this question all the time. Hey, Safrina, how do I Feng Shui my house? My house is facing north. And I'm like, what north? And they'll be, oh, well, the sun comes out on the east, and in the morning I see the sun. The house faces the sun in the morning, so my house is facing east. You can't go by the sun. You need an actual compass in your hand to tell you what the compass reading is. And there's 360 degrees in the compass, right? If you look at this, there's 360 degrees. You start at 0, right? You start at 0 degrees. This is, and 300, 0 and 360 is basically the same spot, right? And if someone tells me, Safrina, how do I feng shui my house? I'm facing north. My next question would be, which north? Because there's north 1. Oh. Okay. There's north 1, there's north 2, there's north 3. North 1, from the center here, if you get a compass reading and it falls around here, then you are north 1. If your compass reading falls between here, you're north 2. And this is, between here is north 3. So because we have 360 degrees on the compass, and there are 8 directions, right? North, we have north, south, east, west. Those are the cardinal directions, as well as the non-cardinal, the northeast, southeast, southwest, and northwest. So how many directions does that make? 8 general directions, but each direction is further divided into 3 more pieces of the compass pie, right? All this, I'm not going to draw all that out. So what that means is 360 degrees. Hold on. (360 degrees divided by 24 directions equals, each of these pieces of the pie then has 15 degrees. Okay, so in Feng Shui, we don't just call a compass a compass. This specific chart is called the 24 mountain. Okay? 24 direction, or the more technical term is mountain. 24山. Okay. Now, we talked about the time, which is what feng shui period you are in. Currently, the whole world, we are in period 9. Okay? But your house has its own period. Actually, going back to that, I forgot. There are different techniques, different methods that different feng shui lineages use. My grandmaster's lineage, we base your home's feng shui period is based on when you moved into the house. So if you're in a multiplex, or if you're in a condo or an apartment building, the building may have been constructed in the 1980s, but if you just moved in, the period for your unit is based on when you moved in. Okay, so that's the difference in my grandmaster's lineage. This is a hotly contested thing, but I can tell you, after being in this lineage almost 20 years now, and with many, many case studies to back it up, I agree with my grandmaster that the energy of the home that you are in is based on when you moved into the home. Okay? So, for instance, if you look at this chart here, okay, if you moved in between February 4th, 2004 and February 3rd, 2024, then you would be in period A. Okay? If you moved in between February 4th, 2024 until now, then your feng shui energy in your home will be based on a period 9 chart. So this is the time factor. The compass is the direction factor. Okay? I'm moving everything around all the time here. Okay. Based on that, Okay? So what is it now? For the time, we have 9 periods. 9 feng shui periods available, right? For the direction, how many directions are available? 24 directions, right? 24. 9 times 24 is what? Actually, 24, but not quite. Hold on. It's 24 minus 8, 16. Okay. Why am I taking away 8? It's because the energies of the 2 and 3, energies of 2 and 3 are actually the same. Okay, so North 2 and North 3 would have the same chart. Northeast 2 and Northeast 3 would have the same chart. East 2 and East 3 would have the same chart as well. So even though there's 24 directions with overlapping charts, we're actually going to time 9 period times 16 actually. Okay, but actually I know it's a little confusing, but let me tell you now, feng shui is confusing. Okay, so you guys are going to do some math. Actually, feng shui is a lot of math too. So 9 times 16 is 144. What am I doing here? I'm trying to figure out how many charts. And let me show you what that looks like. Oh. This is 144 charts. More than that, actually. So let me show you. So this chart, this one here, is for a home that is in period 1 facing south 2. Oh, it's a little small. Okay. This chart, this is a feng shui permanent chart. This is how it looks like. And for Flying Star practitioners, this is how we do our feng shui placements, and this is how I recommend to my clients how to use their space. And you will see that the chart, so this is both period 1. This one is facing south 3. This one is facing south 2. You're going to see that these two charts are actually the same. Right? In the southeast, they have 5, 6. This one also in the southeast has 5, 6. This house, the south 2 house, has 1, 1 in the south. The south 3 house also has a 1, 1 in the south. So if I zoom out here, how are you guys doing so far? Am I still live streaming? Everyone's so quiet. I'm not seeing any new comments here. So this, for instance, is charts for period 1, the one in the purple here, right? These are all charts for period 1. These are charts for period 2. And if I zoom out, okay, all these little boxes here, all these little squares are one permanent chart. These are, permanent feng shui charts. This here, all this, 144 of them. Not including the overlap, the repeats, the duplicates. Okay? But do we stop here? No. So far you guys know we've looked at the time, which is the feng shui period. Let me recap. So far we've looked at the time, which is the feng shui period chart. We've looked at the direction, which is the compass reading. So when you add the time factor and the direction factor, the facing direction, then you get the permanent chart. This is just one example. And I've just mentioned to you that there are 144 versions of this permanent chart because there are 9 periods and 16 directions. We're doing 16 because there are overlaps. Hence, there are 144 charts that I'm presenting to you here. 144. So if this is why real feng shui is not popular, because it's so there's so many layers we need to look at. I need to get to here. I need to finish this bit before I can even tell my clients how to start doing feng shui in their home. Just telling me your house faces west tells me nothing. I can't even start to tell you what to do just by knowing a general direction of your home. Because what is your feng shui period, i.e. your time? What is your compass reading, i.e. what is the which 24 mountains does your home faces? Does your home face? Okay? Oh. So now that we've got that, so you have this as, this is a permanent chart right here. Okay? So this on the left here is a house that is a period 8 home that is facing southeast 2. Can you guys see? Okay. And based on, again, this is the, this bit is the time factor. This bit is the direction. Right? Based on that, now we have this. That's the permanent energy chart. You can start doing feng shui based on this. But if you want better results, you need to layer on. If not just better results, faster results with feng shui, you need to layer on the annual chart. And this is the annual chart for 2026. The whole world is impacted by this chart, with the 1 in the center, 2 in the northwest, 3 in the west, 4 in the northeast, 5 in the south, 6 in the north, 7 in the southwest, 8 in the east, southeast, and then 9 in the southeast. The whole world is right now affected by this annual chart. But does it mean that every household, every person is impacted by this chart the same way? No. Why? Because of the permanent chart, for one. Okay, we're looking at one layer first. So we're looking at layering the annual chart onto the permanent chart. So for instance, In my lineage, by the way, we don't do feng shui based on the middle number here. So those of you who have been researching flying star feng shui, we do not use the number in the center. Okay? But I am going to combine the annual chart with the with this permanent chart. So we have 9 in the center, 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So once you layer on the annual chart, so for instance, this box here, let me use a different color now. This box here, okay, then we look at, okay, the south of this house has 5 as the water star and 3, 5 as the mountain star and 3 as the water star. What does this mean? So the numbers to the left, once you have the permanent chart, the one on the left, so the left is your impacts, your health and relationship. When I teach my students in my certification course, I just put whatever that is here on the left, the number on the left, I just put a heart. Because the heart is a symbol for your relationship and the heart is also a symbol for your health. Okay? And then any number on the right is your water star. And this is where it impacts, over here, the one on the right, it impacts anything related to money. So your career, your business, your investments. Oh, can you guys see? Right. So remember when we had this chart here, oh, hold on. We had this chart over here. That says everyone's money corner is in the southeast. Remember this bit? This chart says everyone's money corner is in the southeast. So the southeast is the only spot you can make money? That's what they're trying to tell you. Right? How does it make sense that all the homes in the world have the same energy? If feng shui was so straightforward, so simple, so one size fits all, how come everyone is not rich right now? Rich and healthy and happy. Right? Because if you follow this chart, that's all they're telling you. And if you want to activate for love or relationship, you activate the southwest. That's what this chart is telling you. You only have one direction. And that's BS. That's a whole bunch of bull. Whereas, when you look at this, okay, when you look at this, actually let me use a different color for this. Okay, I'm going to use pink for health and relationship. Right? This is all the numbers on the top left here will tell me what's the energy for health and relationship in all these directions. And all the numbers on the top right tells me what is the money energy here. Is it good? Is it auspicious? Or is it going to make you lose money? Okay? Sorry, just give me a second here. So you don't just have one money corner. You have more than one. Most homes actually have 3 or 4 money corners. But just because you have 4 money corners, it doesn't mean you can activate it all, because we are layering it with the annual energy. The annual energy will further determine which of your health corners, your relationship corners, or your money corners that you can activate. Because energy is not always the same quality. The quality of the energy changes. What could be a strong money direction for a house could be negative for the following year. That's just, the energy is constantly moving, constantly shifting. So when you add on, remember these numbers here are all numbers from the annual chart. Okay? And then there's going to be a chart for the month as well. If you look here. Okay? Like for instance, this is so for March 2026 flying star chart, this is the chart for the month. For next month, March of 2026. So advanced practitioners will learn how to layer on the permanent energy chart, which looks like this. Okay? And the annual energy chart, this is for 2026. And to layer on the monthly energy chart. This is for March 2026. Why is this important? Because I get this question a lot. Actually, if you have any questions on this, put it in the chat, okay? And also, I want to make sure I'm still live streaming. just making sure you guys are still here. There is a practitioner, and in fact, this is what scares me. He, in fact, certifies people, and he's in Singapore. And he's telling his students, you just need to do Feng Shui one time, and you're good. So he says, just Feng Shui based on the permanent energy, and that's it. Hands off, no more. You don't need to update it. That doesn't make sense. Not to me, because the energy is cyclical. What goes up must come down. What was below must come up again. Right? Yeah, everyone would have been rich if Feng Shui was that simple. Now that you guys are now exposed very quickly how a permanent chart is built, and how I've included the annual chart. Okay, what's the difference? When do you use these? So let's talk about speed. Actually, I meant to cover these. I forgot. Let's talk about speed. If you Feng Shui just based on the permanent chart, your manifestations would happen the slowest. The permanent chart works the slowest. But it's still important to Feng Shui based on the permanent chart. It's just don't expect fast results. Okay? The annual chart is fast. So if you figure out what are the auspicious energies for this year based on the annual chart, and you superimpose it, you combine it with your permanent chart, and you're like, hey, my permanent chart is good for money let's say in the Southeast, right? I have a strong money energy based on my permanent chart in the Southeast. Okay, actually, let me do this. Okay. So this is the permanent. Okay. Southeast, south, southwest, west, northwest, north, northeast, and east. So let's say, so this is, I'm just going to use period 8 house that is facing south 2 or south 3. Okay? So based on this time and compass reading, the money energy, the money corners for this house, I'm going to simplify it, okay? I'm going to simplify it. The money corners for this house is in the west, northwest, south, southeast. Actually, there's 5. The reason why there's 5 is, again, I'm using like a more advanced reading of the chart, okay? So that's for the year. But when I add on the chart, that's for permanent chart, okay? But when I add on the annual chart for 2026, okay, and the money energy that one can activate for this year is in the center, the southeast. The northwest is a maybe, okay? And here, okay. Then you look, okay, this is the permanent chart of the house. This is the annual chart that impacts everyone. So just because I have the money energy here, it doesn't mean I activate all of them. Because when I layer it on with the annual, what can I see? This one has an annual one here too. I have, and then there's one here in the northwest for the annual. I have one here as well. I'm going to put it as a maybe, just because I don't want you guys to kind of run away with it. Okay? There's more stuff that I can't cover on a live stream. So out of the 5, and in fact, so for this year, this is a big no-no here. Talk about money loss for 2026 for everyone. If you use your south and your southwest, you are likely to lose money. You are likely to see general challenges, not just for money, but it could be health and relationship too, okay? Because the annual energy, it doesn't just talk about money. It talks about everything. It encompasses everything, not just money, okay? So even though for this house, I have money in the south, but this year the south is impacted, that means I cannot activate the south, even though in the permanent chart, I have money in the south. Because why? The annual chart works fast. Within like a couple of months, you're going to see money loss if you activate the wrong money energy. Okay? And this one here, this is for advanced practitioners though, I have to say. Not everyone can follow it so deeply. So even once I figure out, okay, I can activate for money in the southeast, I can maybe activate for money in the northwest. Once you add on the annual chart, March 2026, right? It could change the game again. I'm not going to go through everything, but does it mean that you change your feng shui every month? Some of us do. Me and my certification students, we don't change our placement. We change our usage. We change the direction that we sit every month. And in fact, that's what I just did this morning. For last month, I have an L-shaped desk. Well, I have an L-shaped desk. Last month, I was facing the southeast direction because the southeast, based on my permanent and the annual and the monthly, was auspicious. But not this month. This month, the southeast is no good. Right? Whenever you see a 5 and a 7, you don't want to touch that. Okay? So this month, I should say February. Okay, so I don't want to be facing southeast, even though I have been activating the southeast direction by sitting facing southeast. I'm not moving my desk. My desk remains the same. I'm just moving my body. Okay, like right now where I'm standing now, I'm looking east. If I turn my body here, I'm looking northeast. If I turn my body this way, I'm looking southeast. So for advanced practitioners, like my certification students, we change our facings monthly. Why? Because the monthly energy, out of the three, out of the permanent energy, the annual energy, and the monthly energy, if you want fastest result, you follow the monthly chart. Zareen's asking, if someone is looking for a new job, should they follow the monthly, money, or annual? Actually, all three. Actually, all three. But the priority would be monthly, because you want to find a job fastest, right? You don't want to wait. Now, that was speed, okay? What about the severity? So for permanent chart, so for some charts, there are energy that is not good for health, for instance. So if you unknowingly trigger the illness energy based on your permanent chart, it is the most severe. So you're likely going to see illnesses that are a little bit more serious, that takes a longer time to treat. Okay. However, because it is the slowest, in my observation, the permanent chart, on the negative side at least, takes at least 3 years to manifest, because the permanent energy is slowest. Okay. So talking about health, if you unknowingly trigger the illness energy that is in your permanent chart, then you'll see the more severe health challenges. The annual chart, the median would be medium severe. So for instance, this year, what could trigger illness, again, depending on your permanent chart too, but what could trigger illness is the 7 in the southwest, 5 in the south, and 2 in the northwest. Potential, okay, because we still haven't looked at your permanent chart. So that could mean, if you inadvertently trigger that could mean this year you're sickly. Every couple of months you're sick. Okay? If you trigger the health, the illness star based on your monthly chart, then it is least severe. Maybe you're sick a couple of days, or at the most maybe a week or two. Once the month is gone, the illness also goes. Okay? And talking about the length of time that you are impacted by that energy. So for the annual, the permanent chart, the impact is the longest. I've had a couple of situations where the client has inadvertently triggered illness energy based on their permanent chart, and they get diagnosed with serious health issues, right? We're talking about autoimmune disease, we're talking about, cancer and all that. And I suggest, it doesn't happen all the time that I suggest that they move out, but I have to tell them, even after they move out of the house, because the health issue is already triggered, that health challenge might still follow them for quite a while. Right? I can't sugarcoat it. That's just how things are. And then if you trigger negative energies based on the annual chart, then it's medium. It would affect you not just within the year, maybe a year and a half, a little bit after. There's still a little bit of impact after that, after the year is gone. Okay? And then for the monthly chart, it's the shortest. So if you triggered illness star, illness energy based on the monthly chart, once the month is done, you're good to go. Okay? How are you guys doing? I know it's a lot. Any questions? Oh, how much money, here. How much money, time, and effort to do traditional feng shui? Can anyone do it? In terms of money, it can be, you can do this on a shoestring budget. You can get stuff from, and we haven't even talked about like elements and stuff, but if you need metal, for instance, you could go to Salvation Army and get a metal wall hanging and put it in the direction that needs more metal. If you need more wood in a certain part of the house, you can just put in some plants. You don't have to, great question actually, Zareen, you just reminded me, you do not have to buy quote-unquote feng shui tchotchkes. You do not have to fall prey to people who are selling you bracelets and necklaces and rings that are hundreds, some are even thousands of dollars. So that's the issue with the feng shui industry, is a lot of people see it as a money-making thing. They don't care about karma. They know the stupid ring does nothing to change your destiny. They still sell it. They're like, give me 800 bucks, give me, and in fact, one of my best friends from home, she was in a really tough position, but because she was desperate, she was being peddled, I believe a necklace, a pendant, was $16,000. That's when she DM'd me and she said, should I buy this? Do you think it'll work for me? And I'm like, girl, save your money. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. So you can do feng shui very, very cheaply. Okay? Time and effort, you will need to invest more in the time and the effort. Because especially depending on how deep you want to do this, right? If you want to, well, even then, those of you who took my certification course, or even you're in my monthly Flying Star membership, does it take you a lot of time and effort to feng shui based on the monthly energy? Not really. You just do it during like the first week of the month, and the rest of the time you can just kind of just go about your day. Right? Now the question is, can anyone do it? You can, once you learn properly how to do it. You can learn how to do your feng shui based on the permanent chart, based on the annual chart, based on the monthly chart. Not in and of itself. They need to layer. They're like a sandwich. Okay? You need the permanent chart, the annual chart, and the monthly chart together. However, the monthly one, I would say, is optional. I don't want to say optional, but that definitely, like I said, it's an advanced method, right? Those are advanced practices. At the very least, do your placements and update your usage of your home based on the annual energy, because I'm sure you want to have faster result, right? You want your good results to come faster than slower if you only do permanent chart placements, right, or usage. But if you want to follow the annual chart, hopefully you guys will see, if you want to do your feng shui based on the annual chart because you want faster results, it must be combined with your permanent chart. Because otherwise you could inadvertently activate negative results. Okay. So going back to the 144 charts. Okay. I'm going to bring this here. So I talked about how this is the 144 permanent feng shui charts are here. Those of you, if you want to learn how to do your annual feng shui, this is where I plug my own workshop, obviously. My annual feng shui training is where I don't just look at the annual chart and tell you what to place. I look at, so for instance, what period is this? This is a period, so this is a period 7 chart. All these, right? So in my annual training, I look at the permanent chart and how it combines with this chart, how it combines with this chart, and this chart, and this chart. All of the charts. Well, not all, because I did only as of period 6. So what are the period 6 charts here? These are the period 9 charts here. 9, period 8 charts, period 7 charts, period 6 charts. So I combined the annual chart with all the charts here. And then I tell you which ones you can safely activate, which ones you need to remedy. I've done all the work for you guys. Again, because just doing one size fits all annual feng shui does not work. Because once you add on, you layer onto your permanent chart. So for instance, these are bad, right? For this year, these are bad. These are considered the good ones, the good energy. Okay, these are so-so, a check and a half. Okay, but when combined with your permanent energy, maybe this is not usable for you. Maybe this is not usable for you. You have to do it at least 2 layers. So the permanent energy layer and the annual energy layer. You must do it by the permanent energy layer so that you are safe. And you add on the annual energy layer so that you can see result faster, the positive ones. Yeah, so Zareen said, having done the certification, I find traditional feng shui is like a puzzle or math calculation. There's actually a lot of math in feng shui. It's not magic. It's not, oh, let me feel into the energy of the space. No. And by the way, feng shui is not, there's law of attraction, and I believe in law of attraction, but there's real feng shui. So there's this mainstream feng shui expert, which I have to say, she does not do feng shui at all. Not in the classical way. She says, oh, your house is your physical vision board. She says something like that. Just because you put a painting of a pair of lovers in your bedroom does not mean you're activating based on feng shui. Just because you buy yourself a granite marble table in your office just so you can feel rich and affluent and whatever does not mean you're doing feng shui. Okay? So thank you so much for that, Zareen. Zareen is saying, it sounds like Zareen's the only one watching the live stream. By the way, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Did I drop off on YouTube? Am I still on YouTube? I don't know. But Zareen says, you make it so easy. That's why we keep coming back. And the results my family got are tangible and quantifiable. Thank you. That's what I like to hear. So, right. So those are the main things that I want to cover today. They've probably answered some of your questions, but you've probably now have additional questions. And that is what makes the feng shui journey a little bit interesting. Also a little bit frustrating. I wish feng shui is simple. I wish feng shui is easy. And we haven't even, by the way, we haven't even looked at everything. So far, we've looked at time, right, for this chart. So far, I've only covered the time and the direction. I haven't even covered the space and the structure. The space is what? Your layout. The structure is, you know, walls, roofs, doors, floor, all that. We haven't even touched on that, right? So if you want to learn how to start, okay, shameless plug, annualfengshui.com. This is where you can do your update your home with the annual placements, but with me doing all the calculation for you, where I look at all the 144 charts. All you need to do is to look in the workbook that comes with the registration, annualfengshui.com, and to see how you are in your house for your period and your feng shui facing. How is it impact once combined with the annual chart? And then you just follow, okay, for the south, I need to do this. For southwest, I need to do this. Southeast, I need to do this. Oh, one example for monthly chart. Still listening. It pays, okay. Lynn's listening at work. Awesome. Thank you. Stenya. So, example for monthly chart. Okay. So, let me do... Actually, I think I did do one. Okay. Let me start. It's going to be another version of this, but this is the permanent. I'm going to use my house. Okay, my charts. I am period 8 facing south 3. Okay. North. This is my permanent chart for my house. I moved in period 8. So prior to between 2004 and 2024, I moved into this house, and I put my compass reading on the facing side of my house, which is not always the front door, by the way, but I'm facing south 3. And this is my permanent chart. Okay. And then you add on annual chart. This is for everyone, right? The whole world is impacted by this. But again, how it impacts you depends on your permanent chart first. Okay? And then this month, February 2026, this is the monthly, let me use a different color. February 2026. This is the monthly chart. So let me just start here, okay? Based on my Grandmaster's training, okay, I have potential money energy. Let's talk about money, because I think that's what you guys want to see, okay? I have money energy here, here, here is it's weak, but it's there. Here and here. This is actually the strongest one. This is the second strongest. And then the rest, I want to say like this, okay? So I have $2 signs in the southeast, $1 sign in the south, $2 signs in the west, $1 sign in the northwest, $3 signs in the northeast. I am in the northeast right now, my office. When we were house hunting and I saw this room, and I did the permanent chart calculation, and the strongest money energy is in the northeast. And I'm like, ooh, that's my office right there. But once I add on the annual chart, so for instance, last year, let me just do it here. Okay. Last year, let me just do this. Last year, 2025 chart, okay? The number 5 is in the northeast, which if you heard me say just now, for flying star, if you see a 5 and a 7, you need to watch out, okay? So the number 5 last year was in the northeast. So even though I have a triple dollar sign here, whole of last year, I did not use my office. I only use it occasionally if I need to do a Zoom or whatever, but I moved elsewhere in the house. I missed my desktop. I'm finally back on my iMac, but the whole of last year I was on my laptop because I moved around. Okay? So that was last year. This year I am back because when I pull in the number 4 in the northeast for this year, okay, for this year, and I combine it with my permanent energy, so plus the annual 4 in the northeast, this is actually good for me. This actually makes my money energy even stronger. We haven't even talked about elements, but number 4 is a wood element. Number 9 is a fire element. The wood feeds the fire, so it makes my money even stronger. So now I'm back in my northeast. Now I'm using my northeast office, right? So now I am in my office. Now I am in my office. So this whole room is the northeast room, okay? My office. And I have my doors here. Okay? Actually, sorry, I should do it here. It's a very small room. Those of you who came to Toronto to do your certification, some of my students saw my office and thought, yeah, your office is really small. I don't care, it's a small room, it's my money room, right? So in 2026 now, the energy in the northeast is good. So I am back in my northeast office. But now, where do I put my desk? How do I put my desk? So based on this chart, I don't know if you guys can see the layout. Yeah, okay, you can see. So right now, sorry, it's a lot of colors. Right now, remember I said I have an L-shaped desk? And I love L-shaped desks, by the way, okay? My L-shaped desk is here. I am located in the northeast room, but I'm using the southeast corner of my room. Because I also have money energy in the southeast. And this year, actually, where's, I don't want to say money per se, but positive, okay? When I put plus sign, that means it's a positive energy. And this is cross sign. And these are kind of like this. You have to be kind of careful here, okay? So when I look at the permanent and the annual, okay, good. So southeast is good for my permanent. Southeast is good for my annual. So I'm going to put my desk in the southeast of my northeast office. So, am I losing you guys here? Okay. So, give me a second. Let me move this around. So for February, okay, in February, which is this month, this is the chart. This is the chart for this month. Right now, we are here. And remember when I said, watch out for 5s and 7s? Where is the 7 this month? It's in the southeast. And the 5 is in the southwest. Okay? So last month, I was seated like this. If I sat in my chair with the compass, I was facing southeast last month, which was fine last month. But this month, with the 7 in the southeast, now I moved myself. The only spot, it's not the best, but I'm now facing east. Not the best, because I actually have my permanent 5 here, but there's the annual 8 in the east, and there's the monthly 6 in the east. Can you always find like A+, directions and locations? No. Sometimes it's not the best, but it's better than the original, right? And then so since we're talking about desks, why do I like L-shaped desks? Even U-shape is even better. If you have a U-shaped desk, let's say like this, a U-shaped desk, and you're sitting here, right? You could just move your not your mirror, your display, right? You could, like over here, I would be facing north. Over here, I could face northwest. This I could face west. This I could face east. This I could face northeast. With a U-shaped desk, I am given so many different directions I can tap into on a monthly basis, right? So, so next month, since you want to look at the month, let me plan into March. What's next month? So March 2026 is, okay, so east has the 5, southeast. Ooh, actually I'm seeing something else now. But that's fine. Yeah. So this is next month's chart. I don't want to be facing east anymore because the monthly 5 is there, right? Which is where, right now I'm facing east, but I don't want to be facing east next month. So I can move back to facing southeast. I can move back to facing southeast. But actually, if I can just change my U-shaped, my L-shaped desk, and if I face northeast, that would be good too. Because northeast, I have my triple money sign. And this year, it's a so-so 4. That's okay. And then next month is a 1, which is also positive. How was that demonstration, Stenya Krakow? It looks like we're playing Sudoku, right? It looks like we are playing Sudoku, but it just means, in Flying Star, it just means all these numbers have different energies. And we're not just looking at the number. For the permanent chart, for instance, okay, for the permanent chart, actually let me just do a clean one. Let's look at okay, let's look at a period 9 north 2, for instance, right? Remember when I said the numbers on the left denotes energy for health and relationship? Actually, no, let's use this chart better. Okay. How are you guys doing? I think some people abandoned the streams too much. Okay. You don't just, again, in my Grandmaster's lineage, we do not feng shui based on this. Okay, forget about these numbers. The numbers on the top left, remember I said it denotes your energy for health and relationship. Yeah? For all the directions. So in my certification course, I teach my students, what does it mean when your health and relationship number is 5 or 9 or 7 or 6 or 4 or 2 or 1 or 8 or 3? It has its own meaning when it becomes the mountain star, when it impacts your health and relationship. What does it mean when you have all these other numbers in your water star position? Right? Sorry, I should have used a different color. That's another layer of reading the numbers. But we also look at what the numbers mean together. What does 5-4 mean? What does 9-9 mean? What does 7-2 mean? What does 6-3 mean? What does 4-5 mean? What does 2-7 mean? So for instance, let's talk about 2-7, for instance, because we did the trigram chart. Remember we did the trigram chart here? Okay. This thing here, let me bring that. Hold on. Where was I? Okay. So for instance, okay, we look at the 2-7 here. Can you guys see on the screen? Yeah, 2-7. 2 is mother. 2 is mom. And 7 is the youngest daughter. Any girls? Girls under 14. So a 2-7 energy here. Oh, And what's the body part? The 2 is abs. And then the 7 is respiratory, mouth, throat, nose. Right? Respiratory, mouth, throat, nose. So when you have a 2-7 combination like this, that's another layer of reading. One way of reading it is moms would have a harder time to control their younger girls. Maybe they're rebellious or the relationship is bad. So if this is, so you do not want a 2-7 to be the mom's bedroom or the daughter's bedroom. Because the more the 2-7 energy is being absorbed by the mom or the daughter, the more the relationship is going to be strained. And we haven't even talked about elements, but those of you who are familiar with elements, what element is the number 7? The 7 element is metal. The 2, the element is earth. In the 5-element cycle, the metal weakens the earth. So the mom, remember the 2 is mom. You do not want the mother to be using this room because the mother is weakened in this room. And there is a potential for her to, whoever uses this room is likely going to have illnesses that impacts the abs. But the most, out of the whole family, the one most impacted by this would be the moms. Because the metal 7 weakens the earth 2. And the 2 is the mom. That is how we look at this. This is how we take this chart. Again, this chart is not for application. This chart is to help us to read the permanent chart. And even when we add, so let's say this is the chart for period 9, Northeast 2. When you add the 2026 chart, remember it is so we layer it on. Again, we do not look at this one. The reason why I go through this is even my certification students, a lot of them, they still forget. Because they're so used to fast food feng shui, flying star stuff, they forget that in my lineage, we do not go by this. We don't look at that number in the center. Okay? So when you add in the 2026 chart, okay, when you add this into the permanent chart, okay, so we have 9, 5, 7, 8, 1, 3, 4, 6, 2. So for instance, the 2, 7, and a 9. Then we look at the 9 combining with the 7. What's the energy there? The 9 combining with the 2, what is the energy there? Same thing. The 5 combining with the 9, how does that impact money? The 5 combining with the 9, also, how does that impact health and relationship? Right? Or in this direction here. Oh, wait, sorry. No. I got the directions wrong. Because this is northeast. Okay? Yeah, so northeast has 4, 8, 6, 2, 3, 7, 5, 9, 1. Yeah, sorry, I got it wrong. Okay? Yeah, so how does 6 combine with the 7? What's the energy there? When the annual 6 combine with the permanent 2, what's the energy there? What body part? If there's a health challenge, what body part are you likely to see the health challenge in? Out of the whole family, who are the family members that are more susceptible for it? Or even, who are the family members that can best maximize an energy? Is there one that's good? Let's say this one. Okay, the West, the energy in the West is really good for permanent. It's good for permanent. It's also good for annual. But who are the best to maximize this? Anyone except for the middle sun, because this combination, okay, so if you look at, sorry, it's just hard when I'm in the middle here. Okay, if you go back to this chart here, okay, we were looking at 8 and 1, right? 8 and 1. Who is 8? 8 is the youngest child, youngest son, which are boys under 16 years of age, not married, no kids. Okay, and then what is number 1? 1 is the middle son, but specifically male, single, no kids. Can you guys still see my writing? Okay, so in this 8-1 combination, the element of 1 is water. The element of 8 is earth. Earth destroys water in the 5-element cycle. Earth destroys water. So in this combination, the single, over 16 years old. I forgot. Okay. So any single male over 16, no kids, they cannot use this room in the West for a period 9 Northeast 3 house. They cannot use the West room because this energy, it's good for everyone, but it's negative for the middle sun. So it's complicated, isn't it? Very complicated. If you are still not turned off by this and you want to learn how to do all this, okay, all this thing, I do have my certification coming up. The next live cohort is in March 26th to 29th. But even if you're watching this as a replay and it's past the live class, you can still register and do asynchronous, meaning you get access to the training, to the replays, to the recording, to the textbook, and you get access to my private Facebook group where I can take and the senior students can help you out with your questions too. And registering asynchronous also gives you a seat to my live cohort, whichever that is coming up next. So I have students who registered for my certification since September, because I haven't had a live certification course since September. So the ones who've been getting the asynchronous, they've had the textbook, they've had the time to go through all the trainings, they've posted their layouts and their questions in my private Facebook group, and come March, when I have the live cohort, then they can join live. It's not either or. It's not just on their own, learning on their own, and it's not just live. It's a hybrid. But that also means you don't have to wait till I get a live class for you to register. I do have a student selection process though. I'm not taking everyone. So just giving you a heads up on that. Okay. Oh, evolution of awareness. Thank you. Let me know who you are if we've connected elsewhere. All right. So how do you guys feel? You're probably feeling even more confused. You're probably feeling even more frustrated. especially if you've been doing what I call fast food feng shui for months and years already. And by the way, just because someone is trained in Flying Star Feng Shui doesn't mean they know how to do it the way I teach my my students. I teach my students a lot of advanced methods that other schools, it's so funny to me, because sometimes when people come to my mini workshops and I look at their Facebook profile and they call themselves a feng shui master. And they say, oh, I'm trained in Flying Star. Well, if you're trained in Flying Star, why are you asking me questions about Flying Star? Because they're not taught how to layer the energy. Most of them, they're only taught the permanent chart. Most of them. They're not taught how to layer it annually, much less how to layer it with the monthly chart. But again, if you want proper results, if you want faster results, if you don't want to inadvertently activate loss or health or illness or accidents, you need to go through this. You need to do it this way. And of course, overwhelmed. Yeah, it is very overwhelming. And in fact, in the first day, at the very beginning of my 4-day certification, I tell my students, you will be overwhelmed because I need to cover a lot of stuff in 4 days. This is just a tip of the iceberg. Those who took the certification, if you're on the live stream, feel free to comment. It's so much because they're drinking out of a fire hose. But the 4 days is for me to impart my knowledge, and the remainder of that, after the course is done, we have the private Facebook group. They can continue to learn by practicing. They can look at different layouts and put, questions. I have students in my Facebook group that have been in my course since 2017, and they're still learning from the posts and stuff like that. Okay, Donna says, explaining the layering process has been so helpful. I have a better understanding. Please send me info on certification. Oh, awesome. I definitely will. Oh, you can DM me as well. It was a headache. Yeah, but that's the thing though. That's why, now that I know the proper way that it's been done, and I am very honored to be part of my Grandmaster's lineage. And I see all the other experts who, after taking a weekend course, they call themselves a feng shui master, and yet they still come to me because they don't understand how it actually works. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, then why are you calling yourself a feng shui master? I don't call myself a feng shui master. In my head, mastery is a lifelong thing. I'm 46. I've only been doing feng shui professionally 19 years, 18, 19 years. Not quite half my life yet. So I'm not calling myself a master. Yet someone would take a weekend course and call themselves a master. That to me is a little bit laughable, right? I call myself an elite practitioner. I feel very comfortable calling myself an elite practitioner, not quite mastery. Master for me are those older, they don't have to be Chinese, but like my elders who are in their 60s or 70s and they've been doing it their whole life. That to me is mastery. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to leave you guys here. How long have we been live now? I don't even know. Okay. Almost 2 hours. So thank you so much for those of you who have bared with the initial mic issue in the beginning. I'm going to maybe do a little bit of editing and take that out. But thank you so much. For those of you, if you don't want to do certification, because it's not for everyone, and I do have a student selection process, and it's very overwhelming. If you don't want to do certification, but you want to get started with doing your feng shui properly, again, feel free to join me here, annualfengshui.com. This is where I teach you how to do your annual feng shui, but based on your permanent chart. I do all the calculation for you. Okay, these are great for people who are like, Safrina, I don't want to learn anything. I just want you to tell me what to do where. This is perfect. But for those of you who are like, Safrina, I want to know the background situation. I need to know the calculation. I need to know the why behind everything that you recommend in your annual feng shui workshop. Then you take my certification. Just email me or DM me, and we'll take it from there. We can do the student selection process from there. Okay? Right. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to try to do a live stream monthly. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. Take care. Bye.